Namaste everybody, Irina here. Thank you for joining. I hope you already found somewhere quiet in your home, probably a space where you will be undisturbed for about 25 to 30 minutes. I encourage you to switch off or put away all your mobile devices so you can bring your focus on the practice. So in this video, the intention would be to work with the back, and especially to work with the lower part of the back, also known as the lumbar spine area. So if you have experienced or you do undergo some pain in the back, usually that's where you would feel it the most, in your lumbar. And there are multiple reasons for back pains. One of the common ones would be the herniated discs, and if you do suffer from bulged, herniated or slip disc, please take care in this practice, especially if you when we're gonna go into the forward folds, so bringing your awareness into the lower part of the body, and maybe instead of flexing through the spine, it's better to keep your spine either in neutral or maybe trying to have an extension. Twists as well, being careful with the twist, not going too far, and you may find that actually going into extension of the spine will bring some relief of that pain. For those people who suffer from who had the injuries in the past, and especially back injuries, also the same rules would apply. And I'd like to encourage you to use as many props as possible to support the body in the practice. We'll start with Balasana, the child's pose. So we're going to come into the flexion of the spine. We'll keep the knees close to each other. And here you've got two options. You can extend your arms forward, and add a bit of a stretch on the upper body here. If you need to use the block or the brick to support your forehead, you can place it underneath. If you're finding that you may want to focus on the flexion and not that much on the opening up through the shoulders, maybe then bringing your arms parallel the legs. I'd like you to soften and melt with the body into the mat, allowing the gravity to work with the body. So trying not to resist. We are not actively resisting the gravity in this pose. We're allowing the softness to come into the body. Letting go of control. Just going with flow at this moment. You may find that you've got a restriction in the belly, and on the inhale the belly expands and it finds the thighs and being restricted, and on the exhale the belly drops to the spine. Facial muscles relaxed. Trying not to hold the stress and tension in the thighs. Allowing the hips to be soft. And gently peeling the forehead off the floor and coming into the extension of the spine. So you can bring your arms behind you And bring the chest slightly forward, so you're rolling your shoulders back and maybe creating a flexion in the elbows. And this is what we're referring into the extension of the spine when you hear that word and that expression in yoga class. And then bringing yourself back into the kneeling position. Let's move the shoulders, so create some movement in your shoulder joints. Moving the scapulas. Probably you'll feel that movement in the clavicles. So that warming up through the shoulder complex. And then coming into the all four. So if you have a blanket, if you're finding that you need an extra support underneath your knees, so they're not digging that much into the floor, it all depends how thick your mat is, and also if you've got any conditions, so just using anything to support it. Right, let's get into the cat-cows. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding through the back and pressing the mat away and trying to look at the navel. Inhaling, arching. Exhaling, rounding. Let's bring some dynamics. So we're gonna inhale into Balasana and then glide up. So you're brushing the nose over the mat, and exhale, round through the back and press the mat away. So finding your own pace. If the body tells you that you maybe want to go slightly faster pace, then do that. Or maybe the body tells you to slow down, so take completely opposite direction of the movement. And back into the neutral. Let's extend the left leg. So let's start connecting to that core muscle. As I've previously mentioned, we want to ensure that we are building the strength, we're connecting to the core, so we're not overcompensating. And not probably overusing. So having a stronger core will help you in your lower back issues. And let's change. So with your position of your feet, you can have it flexed, you can have it extend, whatever you chooses. Your toes could be tucked in on the left side, or you can have them fully extended. And here we are not trying to open up, rotate the hip, so your hips facing downward, so no outside or inside rotation, and we're just finding the balance, and maybe looking in front of you or looking at the point down, finding your drishti, and into the all four. We're going to tuck the toes, we're going to lift the knees off the floor and start pressing into the mat with your hands. Pedal through the feet. Start feeling those sensations in the underarms, upper shoulders, where you're at with your ankles, where you're at with the hamstrings. How tight are you? Do you find that you need to maybe slow down the movement? Or perhaps your mind is very active and you want that activity to transpire into the body movements. And then walk your feet forward. let's separate the feet width hip apart. So let's have a wider base here. And from here you can, with the soft knees, you can just hang the body forward. Your hands could land on the floor. They may not land on the floor, and just staying here, melting and allowing the gravity to take you slightly forward. Relax the upper shoulders, relax the head. Inhale, halfway lift. You can use the block for that and press with your hands into the block, roll the shoulders away, or you can use your fingertips. But we want movement of the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold. We're going to plant the hands. We're going to step back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, your down dog. From here, we're going to drop the knees. We're going to drag the chest, the chin. Keep your elbows quite close to the body. And we're going to press with the hands into the mat and roll your shoulders back and coming into the cobra pose. You can look up. Maybe 2 breaths here. And the next exhale, press and come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Making sure your fingers are spread. Making sure that you're moving. So you're pushing, if you want that extension of the spine, that lengthening of the spinal muscles. Moving the, so trying to not to round through the back and have your shoulders glued, so it's completely opposite. We're gonna bend the knees, we're gonna look forward, step, walk, jump, inhale halfway. Exhale, fold, and on the next inhale, we're going to sit into Utkatasana, the chair pose. So tuck the tailbone, engage with the core, strong core muscles, glutes squeezed, quads engaged. Exhale, folding forward. A few breaths here. You can hug your elbows if you wish. You may notice that those pulling sensation in the back of your legs. So trying not to hyperextend and lock. And when we're locking in the knees, that's where we tend to round through the back, the upper back. So in this pose, soften the knees and allow that rounding to occur. Hugging the elbows or having your hands on the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, plant your hands, step into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hold the breath, drop the knees, drag the chest, the chin, keep your seat bones really high, and coming into the Cobra Bhujangasana. Tug the toes, lift, press into Adho Mukha Svanasana, the down dog. And breathe. You can create Ujjayi breath, that creating that restriction of the back of the throat, or oceanic or Darth Vader sound. Two more breaths. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, jump. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale into the chair, Utkatasana. Tuck the tailbone, so we are creating the Uddiyana Bandha, so you're squeezing the navel in. You're tucking the tail rather than sticking out. We're bringing to the center line. Tilt, tilt your pelvis. Exhale, fold forward. Separate the feet with hip apart. And here we can position the hands underneath the feet. Inhale halfway. Exhale, trying to bend the elbows and moving the torso slightly forward. Knees soft. If you're finding that too much, maybe having your hands on the floor. So we want to create that flexion of the spine, rounding through the back. Remember to have your shoulders away from the ears. One more breath in. Breath out. Release your hands. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold, and inhale all the way up into Tadasana. So closing the gap between your feet. We're gonna step back with the left foot. So we're gonna start working on the right side. And we're gonna go into Purvottanasana. Parshvattanasana, apologies. So you can use both of your bricks if you've got them and place that alongside the mat. So from here we want to, your left foot is back, turn it in so it's fully flat. We're turning the hips forward, and here you can do Parshvattanasana or pyramid pose with extension of the spine, so we can create reverse namaste, but here I want you to do it with the flexion of the spine. So we're gonna inhale, and on the exhale we're gonna fold forward and allow your back to round, and allow maybe the hands to sit on the blocks, on the bricks, and maybe bringing the nose towards the knee. And having a few breaths here. Trying to soften and allow that passive lengthening of the spinal muscles to happen. Inhale halfway, exhale, and inhale, come up gently, no rush, pivot. And the same variation on the other side. So on the left side, bringing your blocks with you. So you can create a narrower base by bringing the heels in line, or that will challenge your balance. If you want a stable base, take the feet wider on the mat. Remember to bring your hips forward, square it. We're gonna inhale. And on the exhale, fold forward. Bringing the hands maybe onto the bricks, and then allowing the back to be rounded, and breathe. You may find a sensation in your quads, and you probably will be feeling those strong sensations. And again, we want to find that balance where it's not acute electric-like pain. If you're finding anything painful in your joints, that's a no-no, and that's coming out. If you're finding that there's dull sensations and it's more in the connective tissues, then okay, stay with those sensations. Maybe bending the knee. How does that feel? Bringing maybe the knee or the nose to the knee. Relax your arms. Inhaling halfway left. Exhale, and inhale, come up. Rotate towards the right side. We're gonna plant the hands. We're gonna step back into the down dog. From here, drop the knees, drag the chest, the chin, and bring your elbows forward. So bringing your elbows underneath the shoulders. You can take your legs wide, or you can have them together. The toes are pointed, and we're going to press with the forearms into the mat, known as a Sphinx pose. Trying not to have your shoulders just collapsing here. We want to lift the chest away, keeping glutes engaged. Remember not to overwhelm the lumbar. And we're stretching the front of the body. We can look up, stretch through the throat. And exhale. So we're going to position the hands underneath the shoulders. So here you can do variations. So you can either go into Bhujangasana, or you can do the baby cobra. Baby cobra is extension of the spine, but we're just not lifting that much of the floor. And we all the time, we keep engagement with both of the legs. So keeping them straight, maybe going here. Or for some of you, you may want to come into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. So up dog, quite strong pose. Remember, if anything feels too much, then using one of the variations. And exhale. Release, bringing your hands in front of you. Position your forehead, and then maybe just wiggle your tailbone. So wiggle the hips. Massage the front of the body. And plant your hands under the shoulders. Press into the balasana, the child's pose, and we're coming into the flexion. And that's where you may feel quite a juicy relief, especially in the lumbar. Again, with those who suffer from discs, the herniated discs, being careful on any flexion, maybe not going too much. You may want to even sit here with the blocks in front of you and just have more a neutral position of your spine. For those who don't have problems with the discs, can come into full balasana. Then we're going to peel the forehead off the floor and we're going to go into the spinal twist. And this one is Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose. We're going to start on the right side, cross, and for some of you, you can stay here and have your extended leg forward, straight. If you don't have any issues of flexing it and bringing it to the heel towards the buttocks, then you can stay here. We're going to open up through the right side, bringing the hand behind, maybe with the fingertips pressing into the mat. And here you can use your elbow to the inside of the thigh. For some of you, you may want to open up and press. People with a disc problem, don't go too far. So finding that point where the body is working, that you are feeling those twists and twist, those sensations, but you're not going too far. So it's like finding that Goldilocks point. Back into the center. So just a counter twist to decompress and coming into the other side. So your left is flexed, cross over the right leg, and with your right staying straight or bringing the heel towards the buttocks. Left side, we want opening through the left shoulder. You're already coming into the twist from the waist, and then maybe using that right elbow or the arm to press. Your gaze is closed, just noticing those sensations in the body. Two more breaths. Unwind, rotate to the opposite direction, and extend your legs forward, bring the heels together, and creating that diamond shape, Baddha Konasana. So in Baddha Konasana, you're already tilting backwards with the pelvis. Your heels are not close to the groin, they are further away than this is Baddha Konasana B variation, more of a winding down the energies asana. So we're going to inhale. And on the exhale, start folding forward with the gravity. Rounding through the back, rounding through the neck. Shoulders are soft. And bringing maybe your arms even forward that you are not holding. So I'd like you to release the upper body, so being passive with it. Allow the weight of the body to help you here. Bring awareness in the lower back. You also may find the sensation in the groin. Again, those sensations shouldn't be overpowering, like screaming sensations. Maybe dull. And gently coming out of the pose, bringing your legs in the cross-legged seated position, Sukhasana. If you need to use the block, the brick, or maybe just the blanket to elevate the pelvis, and let's position the hands on the knees and just take a few moments. keeping your chest open, keeping the back in a straight position. But again, at the same time, we don't want to be very rigid and stuck in the body, like forcing. We want the softness. Maybe your shoulders want to relax, but being mindful of the back. We want it to keep in the upright position, so trying not to round, that's too much. Hands soft, facial muscles soft. And we're just observing, bringing awareness into the back, especially that lower back area. Maybe imagining that there is a point on the spine that's radiant, and it's radiating the heat, and it's spreading, maybe spreading towards the kidneys, towards the spleen, the liver, the belly, so your abdomen, the stomach, the large and small intestines. Feeling that warmth in the body. And very gently open the eyes. And from here you can take it wherever you want to. You can go into Shavasana, or you can use this as a warm-up for another practice if you wish. You may notice that this practice, from the energetic point of view, more calming practice at the end. So we did bring the energy slightly up, but it wasn't on the top level for too long, and gradually started to decrease. So you may find that you feeling calmer inside, or more clarity with your thoughts, or perhaps not. And whatever the outcome of this practice is, just accepting this without any judgment. Bringing your palms in front of the heart, creating that mudra in front of your heart center, and finishing this practice with bowing forward. Namaste.